Hello everyone and welcome back to Gran Turismo 7 Racer Worlds Cup Season 2. So it is great to be back. For anyone who may be new, however, we're going to do a really quick rundown of what the RWC is. This is a fantasy series that I created not too very long ago in Gran Turismo 7 using strictly AI. At the time, I wanted to use real people, but unfortunately my internet connection did not allow that, and so I kind of just stuck with the AI. So this is a 20 car manufacturer grid race, kind of GT3 style, you know, your Euro Cup style, whatever. Anyway, so 20 teams. Those 20 teams from Season 1 being Toyota, Aston Martin, Mercedes, Porsche, Nissan, Lamborghini, Dodge, Audi, Chevy, Subaru, Mitsubishi, Ford, Mazda, Honda, Renault, McLaren, BMW, Ferrari, Jaguar, and Lexus. Most of the drivers are AI, however, some people have submitted their names to be overlaid over some of the AI drivers, which you will see here in just a few moments as we're getting ready to start the race, the first race of Season 2 here at Watkins Glen. Beautiful weather, nothing should interfere with this race. Wyatt's Garage, one of the veteran drivers from Season 1, qualified on pole and will be leading us into lap 1 of the first race of the season. Here we go. Season 2 is now underway with Wyatt's Garage in first, Gills in second, Isidro in third, Jensen in fourth, Project G fifth, Barth, Batter, Gal, Ramos, and Perez making up your top 10 as we're exiting turn number 1. So as I mentioned, there are 20 manufacturers from Season 1. However, some of those manufacturers have changed as we have a very intense battle going into the chicane between Wyatt's Garage and Gills. That is amazing to see here in the first race of Season 2. Ooh, looks like Casanova and Casanova making Fairley go super wide out of that chicane. It would seem to me that nobody is holding back here in this first race of Season 2, especially the rookies. Now with that being said, like I was about to mention a few minutes ago, the manufacturers have had a little bit of switching around. Mitsubishi Subaru would probably be the most memorable to most people who watched Season 1 are no longer with us this season, unfortunately. Their companies or manufacturers have been swapped out for Peugeot and Genesis, those two now joining us for Season 2 with brand new drivers. Also, almost half the grid is full of rookies. There's still a few veterans from Season 1, but it's definitely going to be a season of veterans versus rookies, as I've mentioned, half the grid is now full of rookies. Gills actually in P2 is one of them, hard charging against Wyatt's Garage, a veteran from Season 1, and another veteran behind him, Isidro, still piloting the Mercedes AMG, but behind him, Jensen, now driving in the Audi All-Rate, previously piloted by Besnar, another veteran who is now driving for Ford in the Ford GT, so a little driver switch up there. Batter, the new driver for Genesis, now competing in the RWC, currently in 5th place. Gal, Ramos, Perez, all rookies as Jensen gets super loose going through the chicane. That definitely was a problem with the Audi R8, however, if y'all remember from Season 1. We'll see how well the rookie can handle it this season compared to Besnard the season before. But as I was saying, Batter, Gal, Ramos, Perez, all rookies driving. Batter in the new Genesis, as I've mentioned. Gal driving for Ferrari now. Ramos driving for Renault. And Perez driving for Dodge. All new drivers, rookies this season. And they're filling the majority of the top 10, which is incredible. These rookies really putting on a show, showing these veterans that they definitely have the speed and the precision to compete in this series. And as I say that, I just now noticed that Rice, who is another veteran returning for Toyota this season, currently has the fastest lap, so very nicely done by him. Laps do still carry 1 extra point, so it is very important to make sure that you have the fastest lap of the race, because that is just more points for you throughout this championship. As we continue down the order, showing the cars with their new liveries, because I forgot to mention that as well. Not all the companies, but most of the companies are now sporting new liveries of their sponsors and other partners throughout the series, so it gives the cars a little bit more pop this season, which was definitely very much needed. Wyatt's Garage actually stealing the fastest lap now. He's currently holding that record for today, just on lap 3. So definitely some hard charging here on the first race of the new season. Heldago in 9th place, another new driver now driving for Lexus. He will be replacing the seats of Saez from the previous season. And then Besnar closing out the top 10, as I said, in the Ford GT, now driving for Ford. Something that just came to mind now, just a few minutes ago, that I mentioned records and lap times. I figured I would do a quick recap on the records that were made last season in Season 1 very quickly. So Season 1 records, most wins from the first season goes to Renault, actually. So Ramos, the new driver for them, Renault last season in Season 1 managed to collect 3 wins in one season, in Season 1. So three wins total. That's the current record in the RWC lore. Most top 5s was actually a tie between Toyota and Aston Martin. Mystics and Rice, who both returned this season. Mystics again driving for Aston Martin, so those two drivers, those two companies are completely unchanged. So that is the record for them. It's tied with four top 5s. Most top 10s easily went to Project G and Team Porsche, who again is another veteran who returns, still driving for Team Porsche with 7 top 10s as Besnar makes a move over Heldago into turn 1, and he makes it stick on the inside. Amazing move by him, definitely showing his veteran experience. I firmly believe that Ford is in good hands now that Besnar is behind their wheel. But going back, Project G, 7 top 10s in Season 1. I'm not sure if anyone's going to be beating that record. That is some extremely consistent driving from him. Kudos Khalid, another veteran looking to make a move on the inside, and I believe he makes it stick over Ramsey, who is now the new driver for McLaren. It's pretty tough. They're side by side. Does Kudos Khalid make it stick? Yes, he does. And it looks like Rice was looking to make a move over Mystics. Let's see if we can get a view of that for a second. Looks like they're coming into the middle straight. And it looks like Rice does get the move done. Looks like now he's looking to make a move on Ramsey, but he does not. Ramsey closes the door. Ramsey not trying to be passed twice. But now Ramsey has probably the 2 worst drivers that you would want behind you, Rice and Mystics, which, going on to our next record, Mystics is actually the Season 1 champion. So Ramsey has not only the Season 1 champion, but also one of the top 3 drivers from Season 1. If I'm not mistaken, Rice finished in 3rd place amongst the driver standings. So pretty sure Ramsey is definitely breaking a sweat right now with probably the 2 top drivers behind him, and he will actually enter the pits. That is probably a wise decision by McLaren, just letting them get the free position. Our final record from Season 1 is the most fastest laps, which was actually made by Dodge, with a total of 4 fastest laps throughout the season. So 4 races, Dodge managed to secure 4 extra points by setting the fastest lap in each race. So those are records to keep mind out for as this new season continues, to see if anyone may potentially break any of them, which will definitely be very, very interesting if that does happen. And Rice going for the slingshot move, but Kudos Khalid closes the door, he doesn't get it done, but now he is on the bumper of that BMW. Definitely looking for another opening. Just before him, though, I forgot to mention him, Davi also returns, driving for Nissan in that very cool looking GTR with their new livery. Hopefully he can secure his first victory. He did get 2 podiums in Season 1, however, the victory eluded him all throughout the season, but he's not the only driver. There's been a few other drivers from Season 1 who still have yet to get a victory or even podiums. Kudos Khalid being one of them, unfortunately not having a podium or a victory. Wyatt's Garage also not having a podium or a victory. Project G having a podium, 2 podiums, but still the victory eludes him. So hopefully those drivers can get those podiums, get those victories this season for their respective companies. Fairly, another veteran who returns from Season 1. Oh, looks like we had an issue here. Oh, Davi actually misses his braking point. Goes way off. Very horrible timing considering what I was just mentioning. Oh man, he must have heard me, and I guess I jinxed him, so definitely my fault. My apologies to Davi and Team Nissan. But as I was mentioning, Fairly, actually another veteran I forgot to mention, who returns from Season 1. And I don't believe I gave Isidro his proper reintroduction, but he is another veteran from Season 1, also returned for Mercedes, as I did mention, that I do remember. But yes, Fairly also returns from Season 1, still driving for Mazda in that really, really cool like RX-9 experimental race car. Here we have a few more of the rookies finally showing their faces. Furigori racing for Honda now, and Barth racing for Jaguar, removing Lee from his seat. I believe we still have maybe like 2 more rookies that have yet to show themselves this race, but I'm sure we'll see them here very soon as we continue to go down the order, as it is just reshuffled due to people going into the pits. But yes, Barth and Furigori. Barth actually making a move on Furigori into the chicanes. Is he going to get it done? It's super tight. Furigori gets loose as he hits the curb trying to defend. Amazing. He doesn't lose the car somehow. That is incredible control. The battle is still definitely on between them two for 11th and 12th place. Here's Perez, not too far behind, driving in that Dodge Viper now. The previous driver, Dabrowski, was ruthless in that Dodge Viper. However, Dabrowski will move on to bigger and better series. So now Perez filling in his seat. And he actually gets loose. He spins out. He loses control and he tries to he runs into Project G, smashes into Project G. Kudos will barely get by. Ramsey will T-bone him in the McLaren. Big wreck here. Towards the end of the race, Project G nowhere to go. Perez creating our first major accident of the new series. We will go to the camera views. We will hit the replays. We will see exactly what happened now, riding along with Project G in the Porsche. Just nowhere to go. Extremely hard hit as Perez, for some reason, does the rookie mistake and tries to turn around as traffic is still coming. Super unfortunate beginning to the season for Project G. Literally nothing he could do. He was slowing down because of the yellow flag, but Perez just drives right into him. And now we're on board with Ramsey, the fellow rookie driving from McLaren, who pretty much will have the same fate. As you can see here, slowing down due to the yellow flag. Kudos, barely getting away lucky, but Ramsey, again with nowhere to go, will T-bone right into Perez. I am more than certain that these 3 drivers will definitely be out the rest of this race. That is far too much damage to be fixed in how short amount of time that is left in this race. Very, very, very unfortunate. And indeed, a rookie mistake by Perez to spin out and try to immediately get back into the race. I can only imagine that he just wanted to save his position, but in doing so, he will actually end not only his race, but the race of two fellow drivers. So I know the three of them will definitely not be in good standings with each other after this incident. But with that being said, we're going to regroup, we're going to regrid, and we're going to restart this race with 4 laps to go. Wyatt's Garage still in the lead, Gills in second, Isidro in third, Jensen in fourth, Batter being your top 5 with this 4-lap shootout. Project G, Perez, and Ramsey will DNF, unfortunately, in their first race of Season 2. Highly unfortunate, but that is racing. Now, will Wyatt's Garage hold off this first place? He's been absolutely dominating this entire race so far, holding from P1. It would be huge for him to send off his new season in a new car, which actually I forgot to mention. For anyone who may not have caught Season 1, Wyatt's Garage and Team Chevy were actually driving the C7 Corvette GT3. In Season 1, they just did not perform very well in that vehicle, so this season they switched to the C8, which so far is showing to be much more potent within this grid. So it would definitely be a way to send off the new season to get a dominating victory here at Watkins Glen, but as I mentioned, we still have a 4-lap shootout to go. We'll see if he can hold them off. Casanova, one of our final rookies entering this season driving for Peugeot. Definitely interested to see how this car performs, as so far it's been a little underwhelming here at Watkins Glen, but it is his first race, it's the company's first race, so you can only be so harsh. Hopefully they figure it out, hopefully they get the pace, the speed to keep up at the top end of the grid later on in the season, but we are more than happy to have them in the series for this season. We wish them nothing but the best. So as we head back to the top here shortly, it seems we have some pit stops going on, so a lot of drivers will get some free positions fairly, moving up to 14th. Kudos battling Davi for position 12 and 13. A lot of 2-car battles going on throughout this single file line as they head towards the chicane, the first chicane. And I think I saw there for a moment Rice actually looking to make a move, but we're actually going to go back down the order as your top 2 drivers actually pitted. Gills and Wyatt's Garage. Gills actually being another rookie driving for Lamborghini now in place of Bowers, who was another fearsome driver from Season 1, very quickly getting picked up by Formula actually, so he will actually be driving in Formula, so congrats to him. Major congrats to him. So back at the top now, P1 changes to Isidro, who is now holding the line. Rice actually getting the fastest lap again throughout this race. We'll see if that changes. But yes, so Isidro with Mercedes and Jensen, the rookie with Audi, looking to maybe get his debut victory, which would be huge. Because as I mentioned, that Audi R8 was something else in Season 1, especially towards the end of the season once they got it dialed in, because Audi did have a very, very rough debut in the first few races. If I'm not mistaken, they actually wrecked here at Watkins Glen. So if they were to win, or even at the very least podium, that would be a huge redemption from Team Audi themselves, but that would also be huge from Jensen, because again, being a rookie and winning the first race of the season would be a major way to kick things off, and just definitely a huge slap in the face for all of the veterans within this grid to have rookies win over on top of them in just the first race. But Isidro doing a very good job at holding him off, having a very, very minor gap between them. Nothing crazy, but enough to where Jensen is unable to make a move. Just 2 laps to go. We will see if Isidro can hold him off. so as we come off of those ride-alongs with the top 3 drivers, Jensen, actually, I just realized, claimed the fastest lap now. So he now holds the fastest lap of the race so far with 1 lap to go. As Isidro crosses the line, white flag is in the air, and Jensen is probably the closest he's ever been to Isidro's rear bumper. We will see if he makes a move here on the final lap. This is going to be intense. We will keep our eyes on these two for the rest of this lap as they come up the S's into the back straight heading towards the chicane. We'll see if Jensen can make a move at the top end of that RDR8, but the Mercedes is no slouch. The Mercedes has a very nice top end as well, and so Jensen will not actually make a move. He will not be able to get close enough as they go through the chicane, but nice and clean as they now make their way to the boot. Jensen still not quite close enough. I'm very curious if he will ever get close enough. Isidro just absolute precision going through this track one final time, nailing every apex, nailing every turn, exiting beautifully as actually he creates more of a gap here as they go through the boot. I am actually in awe right now at just the precision, that Isidro is displaying here for Team Mercedes, for the veterans of this grid. Jensen looks to try to make a move, cutting extremely inside, but it's just not enough. He can't cut the corner enough. Isidro still holding on with just the last few corners to go. I don't think Jensen can do it. I think Isidro managed to keep just enough of a gap to where Jensen just could not make a move on him. So Isidro with Mercedes AMG will win the first race of Season 2. But I must give my hat off where it's due. Jensen, the rookie for Team Audi, will do an unbelievable job finishing in P2. Remarkable debut for him. And many other rookies as Batter, Gao, Besnard, although being a rookie, Rice being a rookie, Ramos, Hidalgo will actually fill most of the top 10. 60% of the top 10 will actually go to the rookies, which is unbelievable. Absolutely surprising result from many of these rookies. Like I said, 60% of which will actually fill up the top 10 here in race number 1. So amazing debut for many of these rookie drivers. Definitely sending a message to many of the veterans that are in the lower half of this finishing grid that they are not here to play around. They are here to win, and they want to be champions. So the veterans definitely have a lot of work cut out for themselves this season. They definitely need to pick up the pace. As I mentioned, congratulations to Isidro for finishing in first place. Jensen second, Bader third, that's your podium. Gao fourth, Besnard will close out the top 5. Rice sixth, Ramos 7th, Hidalgo 8th, Barth 9th. Oh man. Absolutely incredible. Mystics, our Season 1 champion, will close out the top 10. Man, I'm not gonna lie, that was actually a very crazy thing to say. Our Season 1 champion finishing the first race of the new season in 10th place. Unbelievable. Fairley in 11th, Ferragori in 12th. Casanova will finish 13th. Gills 14th, Wyatt's Garage 15th, which also is very disappointing considering the very dominant performance that the both of them actually were giving. Wyatt's Garage and Gills being first and second for the majority of this race, pretty much until after the wreck. Kudos Khalid will finish 16th, Davi will finish 17th, and then of course Project G, Ramos, and Perez unfortunately will DNF for their first race of Season 2. We hope y'all enjoyed. We hope this was a good race for y'all to come back to. I am super excited to be back for Season 2, and I hope to see y'all at the next race. Here now we will go over to the point standings for this first race. And yeah, hope to see you all next time. Thank you again. Peace.